Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the last bit of planning and problem solving. So, as I said, I will take you through this. So, the section that we were going to look at next was called Developing a Contingency Plan. So, the contingency plan has got to do with risk, and we've been talking about risk this whole time. So when you've got risk, there are a couple of strategies of being able to how to deal with it. So what are those different things? First one is mitigation. So let's see how we can minimize the risk. So one way of doing that is by putting in processes and policies so that people have to go through policies and processes so that the risk is not major. So let's say you want to make sure that everyone's competent. You're going to make sure that there's a process every year to make sure that there's a checklist that everyone goes through so that we know that they're safe at work. That is a mitigation of risk. Then we can do something called avoidance of risk. Now, if we want to avoid risk, it just means that we don't do that specific risky task. So let's say they ask us to go up onto a ladder to go and fix a light. We say we're not prepared to take that risk. We're going to avoid it. We're going to bring in an outsourced company to come and change the light. So that's avoiding the risk. Then there's the elimination of risk. So let's say there is a problem on the ceiling. Now, if you can take that problem from the ceiling and put it on the floor, well, there is no more risk. So you're transferring the risk into a safer place. So you're eliminating the risk. Then you can transfer the risk. So insurance is an excellent way of being able to transfer the risk. You pay a premium to a company who says they will take on the risk. So if anything happens, it means that they will pay out on the risk and you are paying a premium towards them transferring the risk. So that is insurance. And then you've got something called acceptance. Sometimes you look at the risk and you go, okay, the frequency is not too bad, the severity is not too bad. I'm prepared to take that risk in order to do business. So that is acceptance of that risk. Now you can read through it, and then the next thing that you're going to do is on page 35, which is the formative section 4.3, and you are going to look at the 5 major categories. So remember, we looked at mitigation, avoidance, elimination, transfer, and acceptance. So where can you find the description? Well, you just go to page number 33 and 34, and you just summarize that. Then next to it, use an example that you would use in your everyday business. So mitigation of risk. What's an example of being able to mitigate risk? Well, we're going to put processes in to make sure that there's no late submissions. We're going to have a policy where everyone has to be competent on using machinery in the production floor. So that's going to be an example. And you just keep on giving examples of those areas. Obviously, you're going to self-score on page 36 based on how you have engaged with the team that you are working with. Okay, so that is page 35 and 36.